Hey, what's up guys, BoHD here, and if you're on the market for a new 5G smartphone but you don't want to shell out the $500+ for one, you might want to look into the TCL 10 5G UW. And that's especially true if you're on Verizon because this is Verizon's most affordable 5G phone. And what's attractive about this is it supports Verizon's low-band sub-6 network, which is being rolled out nationwide, but it also supports the company's mmWave ultra-wideband network, hence the UW in the name. And this particular network isn't as readily available as the other network I just mentioned, but it offers some crazy fast gigabit speeds. So you should be future-proofed, at least for the next few years. Now, TCL sent us this reviewer's package, which contains the consumer edition of the phone, as you can see here, packed inside this box with a neat, stealthy diamond texture. Underneath, TCL was kind enough to include a mask, which I could always use more of, so I appreciate that. And we also have a TCL branded cleaning cloth. Last but not least, there is a protective case to keep this phone nice and protected. So now we can take a look at what's inside the TCL 10 5G. This is what you're going to find inside if you pick up a unit for yourself. First, we have the phone itself, which I'm going to set off to the side for now. Next, we have a packet containing some basic paperwork and a SIM card ejector tool. And finally, there's a USB-C charging cable that looks to feature a ballistic nylon coating, which should help keep this cable from ripping apart as easily over the months and years. That is, if you don't lose it first. And then we have an 18-watt fast charging wallboard. So pretty basic stuff included in the box. Taking a look at the TCL 10 5G and unwrapping it from its protective plastic, which I totally failed at, as you can see, we'll find that this phone features an aluminum frame with a glass front and back panel, and we'll see that the back panel features a diamond texture that gives it a little bit of personality to help it stand out from the others. There's a symmetrical camera layout consisting of 3 lenses and a flash that is on each side. There is a headphone jack up top, which is nice to see here, as is the micro SD card slot for expandable storage. Overall, the phone, it feels pretty darn sturdy. It's definitely slippery, so I would recommend a case. But other than that, it doesn't feel particularly special or unique. But that's not really a bad thing. It's just, I don't know, it feels pretty normal, average. It's fine. It's fine. In terms of security, we have a fairly basic but not very secure face unlock method. But with COVID-19 and the abundance and importance of mask wearing, you'll probably want to use the rear-facing fingerprint scanner. And thankfully, it works pretty well to unlock the phone quickly upon first impressions, but I did have to go into the settings to turn off the unlock sound because that was pretty darn annoying, not gonna lie. Now this phone is on the big side of things as it features a 6.53-inch Full HD Plus IPS LCD display with a front-facing camera cutout in the upper left-hand corner. There's no fancy 90 or 120 Hz refresh rate, but you do get some options in the settings to tweak the display vibrancy and turn on a reading mode that mutes the colors to resemble an e-reader. The chipset that enables 5G and runs all the processes on this phone is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G chipset paired with 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. Obviously, I'm going to have to follow up to see how this phone runs after I put it through its paces, but I'm optimistic that it'll run fairly well, largely because of how relatively lightweight the software looks and feels. So it's running TCL UI with Android 10, and you do get some handy features like the display customization features I mentioned earlier, and the fingerprint gestures, and the ability to sort your apps in more ways than most other phones. But it feels pretty similar to stock Android. The only downside is there appears to be a fair amount of bloatware. We have our usual Verizon apps that we see on all Verizon phones, but we also have a bunch of random pre-installed games and services like Disney Plus and Pluto TV. I personally would rather not have these apps pre-installed on the phone. Now, TCL gives us quite a bit of versatility with photography as there's a 48 megapixel main sensor, we have an 8 megapixel super wide angle camera, and a 5 megapixel macro camera. The macro camera is mostly just a marketing ploy, in my opinion, as I have yet to find a really super capable macro lens. But hey, I'm not really complaining too much because the more lenses, the better, in my opinion, especially in a device that's only $400. But it's probably the main 48 megapixel lens that will deliver the best results for you. The last thing I want to touch on is the battery. It's a 4,500 milliamp hour cell that should deliver a full day with moderate to heavy usage. I know 5G sucks up more power than 4G, but the fact that it doesn't have that mmWave antennas should help it last a little bit longer than other phones that do have that antenna. So if you're on Verizon and you're looking for a new $400 5G smartphone that's future-proof, you might want to look into the TCL 10 5G. I'll place a link in the description to check it out if you're interested, and if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comments section below. As always, I'm BoHD from PhoneDog.com. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you right back here in the next one. See ya.